I told my boss 3 companies were after me and I needed a raise to stay at my job. We haggled for a few minutes, and he gave me a 5% raise. Leaving his office, he stopped and asked me, by the way, which companies are after you? I responded, the gas, electric, and cable company. Can a kangaroo jump higher than the Empire State Building? Of course, because the Empire State Building can't jump. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender asks, why the long face? Horse replies, the bank denied my home loan because I don't have a stable income. A man goes to the track and bets $2 on a long shot and wins $18. So he puts that $18 in the second race and wins again $128. Again, he puts it all on a long shot in the third race and again wins $770. He keeps doing this for each race. And finally, on the last race, he puts his entire winnings so far minus $1,941,550. The crowds are all around him watching this race, because at 8-to-1 odds, he can win $15,532,402. They're off. Everybody's cheering and urging on the horse, who seems to slide back a bit, and comes in last. Everybody is so disappointed. A truly exciting day. The man goes home and his friend asks him, how do you do at the truck? He answers, I lost $2. Why did the Terminator upgrade to Windows 10? I asked him and he said, I still love Vista, baby. A man goes into a pet shop to buy a parrot. The shop owner points to 3 identical-looking parrots on a perch and says, the parrot on the left costs $500. Why does the parrot cost so much? Asks the man. The owner says, well, the parrot knows how to use a computer. The man then asks about the next parrot and learns that it costs $1,000 because it can do everything the first parrot can do, plus it knows how to use the Unix operating system. Naturally, the increasingly startled man asks about the third parrot, only to be told that it costs $2,000. Needless to say, this begs the question, what can it do? To which the owner replies, to be honest, I have never seen it do anything, but the other 2 call him boss. An Italian businessman goes to Indonesia for a business trip. He hates Indonesian food, so he asks the concierge in his hotel, is there any restaurant where I can find Italian food here? The concierge says, you're lucky, sir. A new pizza restaurant just opened and they deliver. The businessman asks for the restaurant's number, goes back to his room, and orders the pizza. 30 minutes later, the delivery person shows up with the pizza. He takes the pizza and eats it. Suddenly, he's sneezing uncontrollably and shouting to the delivery person, what did you put on this pizza? The delivery man bows deeply and says, we put exactly what you ordered on the phone, sir. It's pepper only. A circus performer is driving home after a long day of training when he is pulled over by a police officer for a broken light. The officer looks in the car and sees a collection of knives in the backseat. Sir, he says, why do you have all those knives? They're for my juggling act, the circus performer replies. I don't believe you, says the cop. Prove it. So the performer gets out of his car and begins juggling the knives flawlessly. Just at that moment, a car with 2 guys in it drives by. Wow, says one to the other. I'm glad I quit drinking. These new sobriety tests are hard. A young man came from the parking lot and tried to cut in at the front of the line, but an old lady beat him back into the parking lot with her cane. He returned and tried to cut in again, but an old man punched him in the gut, then kicked him to the ground and rolled him away. As he approached the line for the 3rd time, he said, look, if you don't let me unlock the damn door, you're never going to get in there. A man was in his boat out on the lake with a bucket full of fish that he had just caught. A wildlife officer spots him and pulls his boat up alongside. Seeing the bucket of fish in the man's boat, the wildlife officer asks to see his fishing license. The man tells the officer that he doesn't need a fishing license. The wildlife officer looks down at the bucket and says, you definitely need a license to be catching fish. I can see that you've been fishing today. You have live fish right there. The man says, oh no, those are my pet fish. I just brought them out here for the day to enjoy the lake. Pet fish? Replied the wildlife officer. Oh, absolutely. I let him out of the bucket and they swim around and play. But when I whistle, they all jump right back in. They are very well trained. The wildlife officer scratches his chin, then say, I've never heard such. Well, I've got to see this. The man dumps the bucket of fish into the lake, then calmly turns and looks at the wildlife officer. The wildlife officer says, well, call them back. The man says, call who back? The wildlife officer says, your pet fish. What fish? Replied the man.